Hello everyone. In this video we are going to learn inline and block HTML element and the display CSS property. So let's start with discussing how inline and block HTML elements behave in a normal way when we are using those elements and what are those elements. So let's start. Here HTML and inline block elements has two display value. First is the inline and the block. So here the inline element is the element which is not started from a new line and it only takes the required width. Example is the anchor tag. Here you can see we have three anchor tags, length 1, length 2 and length 3, and we have given a broad border to all those three link tags. So all those border around display around the content itself, and all these link elements are aligned in a horizontal direction. So they are aligned side by sides and they are taking only the content with width which is required. Then next we have a block element. So for example, if you see here the div tag. So div tag is the block element and it's always started on a new line and occupy the full width. Here we have three div tags, text1, text2 and text3, and all those align horizontally, and the border you can see it occupy the full screen width. Then next, these are the list of inline elements like li, span, em, bold, small, super, var. So all these elements are inline element, which means if you are using them, then those are aligned side by side horizontally. And these are the list of block elements. So here you can see the dt, dd, article, aside, h1 to h6, form, li, ol, all these are block level elements. So these elements, if you are using them, then they are automatically aligned vertically one after another, and it will occupy the full width of the document. Then let's see how the display CSS property can be applied on the element so that the element will change its display value. So here we have two display value or the element have two display values, inline and block, and the display property has inline, inline block, none and block. These are the display value for the display properties. There are some other properties also, but for this video we are focusing on this inline, inline block, none and block property. So what inline property is? Inline property converts the block element into inline. Inline block property it will be content will be inline, but we can able to apply width and height on those elements. None will hide the element completely, and block will convert the inline element into block. So let's see one by one each of this. Here if we consider a block property, so there, as we know, the span property has text1, text2, text3, text4 are aligned horizontally side by side. So here you can see the output of text element, but if we set the display property to block, then the appearance will be like text1, text2, text3 and text4. They will be aligned vertically. In case of inline property, so here if we consider the div tag with containers, so the output of these div tags are container 1, container 2 and container 3. But if we apply the CSS inline to the display property, then the output will be, they will be aligned horizontally side by side. Now in case of inline block, so let's consider an example. Here we have a div tag which is a block level tag, and here inside that div tag we have this span tag. So we have a complete statement, some content with data are important. So if we apply this property, span property on this properties on the span tag, then the output will be something like this: span content, some content with the data. Now you can see we are able to apply a border around this. We can apply the border around this so that it will make a difference. Then if we apply here display type inline block, then we can set the height of the element. But if we don't have the inline, if the element is inline, then we are trying to apply the height, then it's not possible at that time. So here we can apply the height property. So that can be converted into inline block. Still the element is in inline, but it behave like a block. Okay, then none. So consider an example, div text 1, text 2, and text 3. And for this div tag, we have given a class B. Now on this class, we are applying display property none. So the output will be something like this, text 1 and text 3, as we have applied display none on this text 2 element. So it's get completely visible. Okay. Similarly, there is another property to hide the element, which is called visibility. So if you use the visibility property for hiding the element, then if we, let's say, if we apply visibility hidden, then the output will be look like this, text 1 and text 3. So there will be an empty space which appear between these two elements. So that's the difference between hiding an element using display none and visibility hidden. Display none will completely remove that element from the document, where the visibility hidden will stop displaying it on the screen, but the element exists. So let's see in an example how we can apply this in the next video.